Okay, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And have your feet flat on the floor, maybe about a hip's width apart. And Erica Ziegler. Okay. Shoulders align with the hips. Your hands can be resting comfortably in your lap, and the ears aligned with your shoulders as best you can. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Imagine you're lengthening your spine. And when you get to the crown of the head, just relax your scalp. Maybe you can feel some sensation there. Relax the forehead, the eyes, the eyelashes, the eyebrows, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. Relax the jaw, the back of the tongue, the ears, the inner ear, the back of the head, and the neck. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And just notice the breath sensations as you inhale and exhale. Be aware of any sounds in your environment, just allowing those sounds to be there. Trying not to follow with the mind, running off to investigate. Some of those sounds may be in your home. People walking about, pets, children, televisions. Some of the sounds may be outside. Although, as I have to say, since I've moved up more into the forest, it's very, very quiet here at nighttime. And then just be aware of what's arising in your mind this evening and just compare that to this time yesterday evening. You know, maybe you've had some things happening today. Maybe you've been watching something on the news. Maybe just try and put some space in between your thoughts. You really feel your feet on the ground. You know, this just helps to keep us grounded. Otherwise, we're just going to keep flying off all kinds of stories, fear about what might happen in the future. We may not even wake up tomorrow. And that does happen to some people. So try as best you can to stay in the present moment. Keep breathing. Keep your feet grounded. And I love this expression, keeping your head on straight. So whatever thoughts are arising, try not to criticize yourself. So you have this open mind, be aware, be curious, and just observe what it is you're seeing. And then bring to mind all the people of our life, our loved ones, very, very dear friends who, very precious to us in our lives, very important, profound relationships. And then there's those people in our life who we don't like so much. And then there's our strangers, and all these relationships are interchangeable. And they're all equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for this Buddha mind. So we'll think, we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings and all those people whose names we read out this evening. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. And we create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we purify this with using this Vajrasattva method in the context of the four opponent powers. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we might experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all these people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And here we have this section on compassion. So developing compassion. In order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of, people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those who've harmed you, and particularly have compassion for them, a wish for them to be free from suffering, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy. So this is the actual medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, And imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring, keeps coming into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is this purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily, very compassionately sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpiata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpiata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpiata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpiata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpiata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech, including yourself, because as you talk, you'll hear it. So next is this purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So, you imagine you walk into a room, it's pitch black, you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So imagine the same thing here. The light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachments, neediness, bitterness, grudges, jealousy, anxiety, depression, disappointments, fears, fear of the future, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe and Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is this purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine that Vajrasattva very compassionately sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to this power of resolve, and this is the fourth and the final step in the purification process. And it's really a crucial one because we make a determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without making such a decision, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. We have these kind of habit energies. We just keep repeating stuff we have a habit to swat the fly. We have a habit to pick up a pen and not return it. We have a habit to eat too much chocolate. We have a habit to spend hours and hours and hours on front of TikTok, social media, YouTube videos, whatever it is we do that is, kind of undermines ourselves or harms others. And we have to make a wish. So got to decide, I don't want to harm anymore. Whatever it is, however it is you harm, whether it's your speech, don't want to gossip anymore, don't want to drink too much anymore, smoke too much anymore. So you can just decide, and then maybe, first of all, rejoice in your efforts coming along here tonight. And then just decide what it is you'd like to work on maybe between now and tomorrow, and maybe even if you only think about it once or twice between now and tomorrow night. And then, as I've said, if you want to journal, you can always look back over time and see where you've come from. You'll be surprised how far you've come. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light, and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma you've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. All right, let's just do our verses. For the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, they're chanting the names of Manjushri, that you, abounding in supreme compassion and aiming to assist all living beings, are willing and prepared to hear from me this evil quelling, purifying chanting, the chanting of the names so filled with meaning of Manjushri's embodiment of wisdom. How truly excellent, O Vajradhara, how excellent of you, O Vajrapani. And so I shall, O Master of all secrets, reveal just that to you most splendidly. With single-minded focus, listen well. How excellent, responded Vajrapani, so truly excellent, O Blessed One. So sweet, this chanting the names of Manjushri, isn't it? All right, everybody, do sleep well. Let's have a strong wish for His Holiness Dalai Lama to live long, have a long and happy life, for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for all of your own personal teachers, for yourself as you're just making your way along your spiritual path. And we're all making our way along our spiritual path at our own pace. So just keep that in mind too, just one foot in front of the other. All right, everyone. Lots of love. Good night. See you tomorrow evening. Thank you for hosting. Was it Shayla this evening? Yes. Okay. Thanks, Shayla.
Thank you,
Lots of love,
Venerable.
everybody.